Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Curse of Mother Misery. This will be our episode 10, and we're playing the model Curse of Strahd that has been slightly changed, transformed, enhanced, and it's played in the setting and in the system of Frostmark. And there's a content warning tonight of gore, horror, and bad language. With me, I have a wonderful cast. Lady Lyria, playing a half-elf magus, and it's played by Julie. Say hi.
Hello.
Nice. Krakas, the gnome ranger, played by Sean. Say hi.
Hello.
Hello. And then Nix of the Vistani, a tiefling bard, played by Adrian.
My life is a lie.
And certainly not the least, Sir Asphodel, the silver dragonborn paladin, played by Aerodox.
Hello.
Hello. Every time you go hello.
I gotta be consistent.
Last time on Curse of Mother Misery, the characters talked to Strahd for the first time. It was an introduction where Strahd obviously knew who everybody was, and knew some information about them. He stuttered, became flustered and shocked when he took a good look at Illyria for the first time, whispering some things to himself. He then demanded that Illyria would follow him to the castle for dinner and stay in the castle for as long as until he is completely satisfied, was the words that he used. Irina, working up some sisterly protective emotions here, standing up for Illyria, she berated Strahd for doing that to Illyria and said to take her in Illyria's stead. Strahd squatted her away as she was a mere insect, and she died from a broken spine. Strahd said it was just an accident, he didn't mean to hit her that hard. The party grieved, and they were asked to go into the black coach to travel up towards the castle, whilst Strahd was flying in front of them like a cloud of bats. Once in the castle, they sat down with dinner with Strahd. There were servants hanging upside down on the roof, dropping down to serve their every whim. Strahd was interested to hear about the Protectorate and about his guests in particular. And he also told the tale of how he was cursed. He asked Asphodel to notify the Protectorate that he wants people to come and populate Barovia in return of gold and magical items to be sent to the military machine of the Protectorate. And Krakas mentioned that he had his family who is living in a dangerous place, and that he might consider going back to them and ask if they want to settle down in Barovia instead. And Strahd seems positive towards this. Nix became very, very drunk. Was charmed. There was some tension. There was some gravy involved. And then Lady Illyria, Strahd made a compromise with Illyria. From the payment of drinking some of her blood, she would be allowed to leave the castle and roam the Barovian lands instead of just being there with him. And after drinking Illyria's blood, there were bloody tears running from his eyes as he whispered, "It is you, Tatiana." And then he stormed out of the dining room, leaving you all a little bit shocked as to what has just happened, and Illyria a little bit dazed. Alright, let's go change the soundscape. Da-da. first of all, Illyria, you are gonna take some damage.
Okay.
Started off with that. Let's see. All right. Alright, you take 8 piercing damage and 7 necrotic damage, and your HP maximum is reduced by that amount until you finish a long rest. And you're basically left there standing dazed. There's still some blood running down like your throat. Before the wound has sealed itself by the fireplace, feeling a bit drained. What do you guys do?
I think Illyria just sort of looks around the room awkwardly a little and just sort of like finding the nearest chair to sit down for a second.
How sure as for that will chime in. How are you feeling, Illyria?
I'm tired.
But a good tide, right? I mean, you had his lips on you.
I guess.
You lucky thing. Well, I mean, I'm sure everything will be fine. I mean, he's clearly a very charming man.
Did he simply up and left right after that? I believe my father said something of the sort about such men. If you care to know, that is.
Sure.
He called such men, I quote, Asphoda, never marry a man who is a one-pump chump.
Illyria sort of like gives you like as much of a laugh and smile as she can muster in the current situation. Thanks, Sir Asphoda.
Of course.
He...
Do you think he's going to come back?
I don't know. Our host just left. Did you hear what he said?
DM, did we hear what he said?
I mean, Lyria, you definitely did. Let's see. What is your passive perception scores? I have it. I have it.
Right. You have it.
Yes.
The eyes have it.
I got it.
I think she's got it.
Oh!
By Jove.
Everyone but Crocus could overhear.
What do you mean? You don't have me? What?
No, you didn't hear what he, like, half whisper murmured to Illyria.
Ah. So from Crocus's perspective, all he saw was Illyria be, him come over really charming, pick up Illyria by the hand, and then just go nom, nom. That's what he saw.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Crocus will have to follow through with the actions, which I think is very sensible for Crocus. Now, all you're gonna see is a nose, like running down the side of the table, almost like Jaws. Now he's gonna go to Illyria. He's gonna hand her a napkin, and he's gonna
You
ask her something very poignant.
you are
Are
gonna
you are
hand
you
her
are you
a
are you
napkin.
feeling okay?
Okay, good.
Yes, for her neck,
Mm.
because it's still bleeding.
Yeah, it's just you cut off there, and then the audio came
Yeah,
back.
you cut off, so you
So-
hand Illyria.
A napkin, and you said,
Could have handed her anything. Yes, I handed her a napkin, and he just poignantly asks, you feeling okay?
I'm feeling a bit drained. And then she
Oh.
just sort of like realizes her accidental pun she just made and dies a little inside.
And Crocus is gonna go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Crocus is carrying a bit of silver, by the way. Like he's got like a little bit of silver in like powdered form. He's got it in a little bag. Can he
Right.
like just like dab his finger in there and just like poke Illyria with it? just jab her a little.
do you allow
Stick it in
him
the
to
wound.
poke you with some silver dust on his finger?
You're not knowing what this
Honestly, I
powder
think
is.
she's concerned with other things right now. She just sort of like she accepts the napkin, sort of like, puts it on her neck, cleans herself up a little,
All right, then
and
you're poked by something slightly cold and prickly.
what are you doing?
Just testing for a reaction. He's got like a monocle now. He's like looking really closely.
It takes more to turn somebody into a vampire than a bite.
A vampire would say that. He's gonna like walk away now. He's gonna go over by Asphodel because he feels safe by like the one with no eyebrows.
Illyria
Or
will
eyelashes.
look back to the others and say or bring it up again. Like, so you did hear what he said, right? Just sort of like look between Asphoda and Nyx.
Nyx is kind of like by the doorway where Strahd left and just kind of like longingly looking out.
Oh my god. For my own sake, just to make sure I didn't mishear, what were the words verbatim did he say?
Oh shit. Before the bite, I hope it is you, and after the bite, it is you, my Tatiana.
Yes. Alright. Asphodel like shaking her head at Nyx, he's out of it. But nods like affirmingly towards Illyria. It seems that there could be two options here. That you could be actually her, with your memories very jogged and boggled in a way. Or a more reasonable prediction could be you are directly related to her. So much so that, well, some people in family lineages just take a striking resemblance with their grandparents and forefathers.
I mean, that is a possibility. It is. It wasn't what I was expecting from this.
Certainly not. Your shock is as shocking as our shock.
What?
Yes. You are as shocked as we are.
Yeah. So, do we just wait here now?
Nyx calls out from the door. I don't think he's coming back.
When you guys say that, a black form drops down from the ceiling and lands softly on the carpet.
Ceiling people return.
Yeah, they haven't left. They're still up there. There we go. Here we are.
They're so small.
It's the same woman like before, and she's still in this demure posture. As she says, "Honored guests, the Lord has decided to take his rest for a moment. I am to show you to your sleeping quarters. If you have finished your food, that is. Do you want more wine?" And she kind of like wrings her hands as she says this, looking nervous.
Don't worry. I think we had plenty. As she sort of looks over to Nyx.
It's kind of like doing the whole drunken lean on the door frame. No, I could do with some more wine. What else are we going to do? I think we need to have a little chat. So if you wouldn't mind getting some more wine, we'll be here for a short while longer.
Water, actually. Forgo the wine. He doesn't need it.
We need the wine, and we need lots of it.
No, we don't. Because when you are out of your ridiculous stupor, you will find yourself thanking me later.
Nyx goes over to like the jugs and just like inspects them for wine.
The second jug that Asphodel has been protecting has like half of it left.
Okay, that's fair enough. I think it will be fine then. However, are you all happy to sleep here tonight? I mean, must we?
The Lord insists. What kind of hospitality would we have if we didn't? It's been prepared just for you.
Yeah. Question. Can I make an insight check on the ceiling servant? To see if we don't, she may be reprimanded.
I think that is, yeah. No, let's do an empathy composure. Imposure.
Imposter. The imposter check.
Do an imposter roll.
check.
You weren't a dragon at all. You were literally straight up Godzilla.
24.
My mind worked a little bit too fast there.
Ooh, bloody hell.
24. Holy shit. She
Read
looks
her mind.
eager to please, and she looks also scared that you do not do as she pleases, and but behind the fear, behind the mask of fear and like demureness, like her slightly like huddled position, there is a flash of irritation in her eyes. There's something else behind this this mask of fear.
Ooh. Is this irritation towards us or towards the situation?
You can't really say, but it hasn't been there before.
Ooh, she might be getting maybe impatient. Okay.
That's timing.
She.
The idea.
Yeah. She's
Mhm.
terribly already. Well, we are certainly far away from other places outside this castle for rest. I think the quickest and perhaps best option for all those here is that we stay for the night.
Very good, very good. Have you finished eating? Should we go there now?
Oh yes, I have certainly finished eating, and I will drink the rest of this wine. And he pours the rest of the pitcher into her goblet so that somebody doesn't get drunk.
Crocus wishes to stop you in this action.
Oh, okay.
It's very important that Nyx receives his medicine for the morning. After every time he gets drunk, he needs a certain medicine. It's made from tomatoes, dash of lemon, and a very strong alcohol. And the closest we got is wine. Apparently, it helps with headaches.
Crocus, you're a very poor
Certainly so,
liar.
little master.
Is he lying? I don't think he's lying.
No, he's definitely not lying. This is a Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary with wine. Ugh.
Ugh.
Oh.
He's got to work with what he's got to work with. I mean, that's
More
pretty
like
brilliant.
sangria.
Yeah. But tomatoes in a sangria? Ooh. Okay.
Can as they're doing this thing, like Nyx is still feeling the effects of the wine, and he's a little disappointed that Strahd isn't here anymore. But he sees the organ. He sees it at the back there. And it's like he kind of like does the whole slow step backwards from the conversation of they're talking about wine. One step, two step.
Do I see him fully trying to escape?
Okay, let's do a stealth cunning versus a perception composure.
Perception, composure,
Yes.
you say? Perception or composure? Which, okay, there, I see. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh damn!
Oh.
Nyx is still gonna do it.
I would like to grab him by the scruff of his neck collar, pull him back.
No, I want to dodge. I need to dodge.
Let's do an opposed grapple check.
Oh no!
Grab him
Uh,
back.
No,
With Dex?
it's athletics brawn with you, Aspida, and then Dex or brawn, you get to choose.
Obviously.
Can Crocus try to intervene in this to stop, just as a reflex to try and protect his beloved Nyx?
Okay, then
Grab with the
Nix, you
dragon.
roll with advantage.
Oh, I roll with advantage. Sure.
Yeah. 14, okay. Damn. And Aspida got an 11. Okay, you were about to get him, but then Crocus pushed Nix away from your grip, like the last centimeter, and you feel the cloth of the scruff with your fingertips before it escapes your grasp.
Nyx will kind of like stumble from the push from Crocus onto the organ, kind of like that stumble that is totally controlled, but like he's trying to make it look like he's, oh no, I've fallen over. And
Oh snap! Oh.
And he would just like
onto it? Like, do you fall onto it, or you stumble?
no. I stumble with control,
Okay.
like to make Aspid look, not feel so bad, but he like stumbles and like in a very bad like low quality movie style. It's like completely obvious that he's like oh no, and he like spins around to the organ and like strikes a chord.
Do you have any experience with music? Do you have any academics? Art and craft music?
I have a background of being an entertainer.
That you do. All right. You could probably start up some common chords. Yes.
For sure.
But
I mean,
this
not nowhere
paddle
near
work,
to.
this paddle work is very confusing. There are a lot of paddles, and you don't know what they do.
I'll mash the paddles as I strike a chord.
Oh no.
The sound comes out staccato, and you didn't really want that, but it's you know, the G chord rings clearly in staccato.
It's a G. It's a solid G. Okay.
And the as soon as you touch the organ and you press down on it, it stops playing.
Huh? There's no music that comes out of it?
Well, it
Oh,
will
because
play
it's
on it.
automatic playing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
It
Oh,
has been playing
okay.
in the background all this time.
All right. So when I got up to it, did I see the keys pressed down or whatever? So, or is it just like in the background?
The keys were pressed down.
Interesting. I poke a few keys as it stops. Like, hey, keep going.
No, nothing.
I think it might be time to go to bed.
I agree with you, Illyria.
Wait. This thing was playing itself. How does it do that? And Nyx will get super interested in like trying to find the source of like, I don't know, maybe there's a halfling trapped behind there or something.
Make an
Okay,
investigation
come out, little halfling.
Yeah, Asphodel would like to cast minor illusion so that a little halfling is there. And
I would like to say that during this, if Asphoda hasn't yet, Illyria is just drinking some of the wine that's still there.
He's trying to collect herself, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so, there's now, like, a minor illusion of a halfling sitting in, like, the half shadows, like, underneath the organ by some of the pedals.
It just appeared where my feet were.
You know, underneath an organ, it's a really, like, a pretty large space underneath. It's not the same thing as a piano. There's way more pedals. It's way more spacey. Like, you need to, like, stretch your legs sometimes to, like, reach certain pedals. And, like, in the corner, pretty close to your legs, indeed, there's, like, a little halfling there in the shadows.
I knew it.
from Go on.
It's okay, little halfling. You don't have to be scared of me. Play.
Oh, the little halfling says in a hushed tone, well, that would be nice, but I'm so tired. Could you, I can't find my bed.
Get this halfling a bed. He needs a bed. He's so sleepy. And he'll like run around to try and find a cushion from one of the chairs.
Oh,
He'll,
God.
Can you pick me up and bring me to a bed?
But of course, maybe I can.
Helga
and
takes
cut-
a step forward and she says, the master would appreciate if he didn't play around in his own house.
Asphodel whispers to this lady, he is drunk off his rocker. I am trying to lead him to a room so that this nonsense can end.
Nyx tries to scoop the halfling.
Your arms goes through it and you're very scared.
Ghost.
Please, sir, bring me to a bed.
What?
My soul can't stand it here.
Nyx audibly gulps. Little halfling of the organ, I bid you good night.
Please,
Nope, 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 nope. Thank you. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Helga has this smile that Aspen I can see is a little bit strained. And she says, very well. If you excuse me. And she like walks past you towards the organ. And she places two of her hands and she plays an accord on the lower end by pressing down on a pedal. And the tone rings out, echoing in the dinner room. And then the whole organ shakes as it's suddenly moved 2 feet to the side. One end creaks open to reveal a slit.
Would Nyx see this? Hear this? Know this?
I mean, you were backing away and being a little bit afraid.
Yes, yes, yes.
So let's do a perception intelligence here to see if you caught it.
Catch the chord. It's an A flat. Perception intelligence. 22.
Holy shit! Yeah, you remember it. It's like E sus 9 or something like that.
All right. Nyx will remember this.
And she walks to the left side, where creaked open a bit, and she pushes it open, and it moves over the carpet to like reveal like a slightly a little bit less than a meter wide pathway leading into a room beyond. And she turns to all of you and says, "This way, if you please."
As for that will follow.
Right?
Illyria will also follow, but kind of questions what just happened and why we can't take, a normal way there.
It's a good question.
She's just like, that's a very interesting location, I guess, for where we're going to bedrooms, right?
Yes, my lady, we have prepared something I think would be suitable for you all. This castle is brilliantly built by a brilliant architect.
I'm sorry, it just feels very odd to go this way instead of, hallways, stairs.
I'm very sorry, my lady. It's what the Lord wants.
Oh, it's all right. Whatever the Lord wants.
She nods.
For the sake of Caracas, do we have all our equipment on us?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. He wants to clutch his ladle.
Except for the rations that you left in the cart.
Not the biscuits! Bedtime rations, no! He would take a lemon from the table.
Pocket lemon.
Pocket lemon, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There were some lemon slices like around the pork, the roasted pig.
But there's no entire lemon.
No.
This table is bereft of the most important things in life. He will not go without. He will not go with a lemon. He will go as he is, unfortunately.
You take the apple from the pig's mouth.
That's not a bad idea.
All right. You take the apple. It's slightly
A whole
warm, a
apple?
little bit smushed, but that's okay.
Okay, you shall take the apple.
All right. You take one red apple.
And he wishes
You wish.
the plate was. Hopefully block it, which it probably won't. But You would hope.
Okay.
Can it stand up to a apple?
Helga is waiting for you to enter, so she's the last one. So she will be able to see you drop an apple.
Oh, I was going to say specific. What if he stealth dropped it?
Stealth drop. She's gonna
I
walk
mean,
right
it's
past
slightly
it.
pushy, it's gonna
I
hit the
mean,
ground,
in
go out,
most
but
cases,
it's
I
gonna
would
hit
allow. In most cases, I would allow like a subterfuge check here. But I mean, since she is behind you, and like an apple dropping to the floor is going to make a thud noise. And
This is a big
considering
apple.
who Helga is, I don't think that would be. All right, let's see if you roll a 20. Let's do a a subterfuge with cunning.
With cunning, eh? With cunning?
With cunning.
And fingers crossed. Buh. Bruh.
She leans down, picks up the apple, and holds it out to you. I think you dropped this, Master Crackus.
Yes, I did, didn't I? Ah, crafty one.
Okay. She closes the organ behind you, and you can see there's like just smooth stone on the other side, and when the organ closes, it's like there were no a doorway to begin with. It's really, really like expertly made.
Well, that's terrifying.
Kind of becomes invisible against the stone. And the room that you find yourself in right now is just a stone room that is filled with like cobwebs and several mirrors of various sizes, some as tall as a human and others small enough to fit in a backpack. And this whole room is like full of them. Helga walks past you all, past the room and into a hallway, and then directly to the right, and then waits for all of you to follow her.
Nyx will like kind of, as he passes the organ, who will like be looking kind of a little shaky for halfling, organ halfling, and kind of like as he gets like that past that sort of threshold, he will like pick up his pace and walk quickly away from the organ.
Alright. Away from the halfling. You all follow Helga, and just right from this room into this hallway that continues like further down into darkness to the left, but to the right it abruptly stops into this octagonal room with a high domed ceiling about 8 meters wide, with several frescoes faded with age, tall, thin arrow slits that look out to the dark courtyard beyond. And then the room is furnished with 4 straw beds set in a half circle around a raised fire pit sitting on a cylindric slab of stone, making the light dance in this room in weird shadows on the walls. Also, a sitting arrangement is also provided around the fire. Red cushions, purple divan, blankets of different shapes and sizes, all luxuriously crafted, but everything seems to be a little bit marred with time, as it's seen its glory days and might require some repairs, but never received it. On a little oaken table in the corner, there's also a carafe set with water. There's some cups. There's also a small silver platter, like full with different fruits, some grapes and stuff like that.
Ja, tusen verkligen.
Helga wrings her hands again and says, just call down the hallway if you require anything. Also, the Lord wishes you to know that the castle isn't prepared for guests, so don't go wander off.
Tänker du säga? The fuck?
Alright, I wish you good night.
Nej.
Is there a door to this room?
No.
So we're just like in a hall, but like we're in the what's like octagonal room,
Yeah.
just like with straw mats around.
I will. You can go here, and I can do a little doodle.
Ooh.
Bearing of where we are.
Get ready for a masterpiece.
I don't know about that.
Here be dragons.
It seems like an odd way to like or like odd room to keep your guests in, not gonna lie.
Clearly not
So-
the guest room.
Here is the organ wall, and here were all the mirrors standing. If you see where I'm doodling.
Mm-hmm.
And down here is like the little fire pit and the beds. Right, like that.
Huh.
We didn't go behind the organ then.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, we did. Okay.
It opened up like a door, and you went behind it.
Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
And when you're looking at like the through the arrow slits down onto the courtyard, like you realize that you are you're probably in the tower here. Lowest down, first down.
Lowest tower.
Look up and see how tall where the domed ceiling hits.
About 8 meters up.
8 meters. Okay.
It's a dome though, so it becomes a bit closer at the edges, but like the tallest point,
Mhm.
about 8 meters.
Fair enough.
Good. And then Helga kind of like backs away and drifts away into this dark hallway, and soon you can hear footsteps walking upwards a set of stairs.
Just as a quick thing with Crocus. So this room's got arrow slits, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Just a quick one with his shenanigans. He wants to take the apple. He wants to hold it to about his height, so he's like judging how tall he is, and then he's going to drop the apple to the floor. Okay?
Okay.
You with me on this, right? Right? Yeah.
Okay.
He then's going to proceed to pick up the apple. Go. About a second. He's going to go and he's going to drop the apple. Stick his hand out of the arrow slit and drop it. And he's going to count how long it takes to hit the floor outside.
Oh. Okay. Well. About a second.
About a second as well.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
I mean, you haven't really, unless that was a magic door behind the organ, you haven't traversed any steps.
You
Okay.
can see the courtyard outside, so we know we're on the ground floor.
Yes.
Right, I was actually presuming we were like high up in a tower or something.
Ah, no,
Okay.
no. Furthest down
Well-
in the tower.
Well, Crocus has already done this. He's going to turn around to everyone looking very triumphant and be like, everyone, we are 1 gnome height from the ground. We might be able to get out.
Asfa nods her head and says, "What a astute observation."
Oh,
Just for a point of reference here is that each arrow slit is about 1 meter tall and 10 centimeters wide.
minus 680.
They're
Wait a minute.
thin.
It's an apple-sized.
Okay, so let's measure my hand.
Basically,
pretty sure I
we
know
can't
hand.
go through arrows. Like, Asphodel is freaking 8 feet tall or whatever. Like,
Yeah, no.
she can barely go through a door.
You would have to blast through castle stone.
We need some gunpowder, guys.
Well, you're lucky that Crocus doesn't know anything about explosives, because I'm sure he would try with the lemons.
So the door is closed, right?
There is no door. That's the
There's
thing.
Shoot. Oh,
There's only a hallway into
it's
the dark.
only a hallway. This is very odd. Yeah, this is very odd. My brain wanted a door, even though you said no door, but it really wanted that door.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, I
Illyria,
want
I
the
think
tower.
at this point just sort of like, sits down.
as soon as I take a gander at this odd space that he quote unquote hadn't had time to prepare for, even though he requested these people. Can't you check if there's any odd nooks and crannies in this area, like a trap or slits where gas can come in?
Or like look into the ceiling for any more ceiling folk.
Yeah, are there any more ceiling
Jesus.
people?
Yeah, let's do some investigation checks here.
Okay, here we go. Hey.
Hey,
Uh,
14.
Og ég veit, ok, ég held að þetta er eitthvað verið.
Cunning. Oh, yeah.
Fólk er að sækja þetta.
You just like, you do the thrinks.
Klikkar óvart á víra.
Looking up at the roof, it is kind of illuminated from the fire pit. There's some weird shadows that dances across this faded imagery that is above, but you do not see any weird ceiling people in quotation marks. And feeling around at the stone, it feels damp and rough. And cold, and this tells you that this fire pit hasn't been going on for that long, or that this area has been heated recently.
Oh, they certainly didn't think ahead for themselves. And of all this castle, not a single proper guest bedroom. Well,
It is odd, isn't it?
very much so. I certainly can't say that he wasn't prepared for guests when he was suddenly appeared out of nowhere to pick us up.
Do you think this is like a test? Like, maybe he wants us to go exploring to find him. We'd be much better off if we find him again.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Why not? He was so cordial and courteous.
Krakus, by now, I think you've started to realize that there's something off about Nyx.
So, Illyria will just sort of like stare at Nyx in like utter like shock and be like, he killed Irina.
It was probably an accident, He wouldn't do anything like that on purpose. No, I mean, he is Strahd, of course. He has our best interests at heart.
DM, does Asphodel have knowledge that vampires can charm a person into being amicable towards them?
In the handouts that both you and Illyria would
Yes.
have all the knowledge of, does say, like, let's see, what you know about
Vampires
vampires.
have magical charming capabilities.
Flamethrower ska väl
And okay, in that case, would they also know how to break it?
Yeah, I think that you would, but Illyria would not. And with the experimentation that you guys have been doing, time and dispel magic is what you so far has discovered.
Dang, time. Okay. Has Nyx? No. She Asphora's gonna go up over to Nyx and ask Nyx, "Can I see your arm for a moment?"
Okay.
My arm?
Yes, your
Why
arm.
do you want my arm?
I need to check something really quickly.
Home.
You need to check something. Well, I
Yes.
mean, if this is your way of wanting to see a little bit more of Nix's flesh, well, I'm not quite sure I can really imagine the contortions I would have to go through with you.
No.
Asphoda just very calmly responds as if it didn't faze her. Well, we certainly just have to see for ourselves, wouldn't we? And she holds out her hand. What?
Oh.
But what if Strahd finds out?
Well, I think he's the one that likes to watch.
Oh, really? Well, Nix does like a look around over her shoulder. Well, I wouldn't want to be doing anything too risque. Kind of like calling out to the room itself.
Risque.
Yeah. As he like holds his arm out while looking around, like not looking at Asphoda, but looking at anywhere else, like maybe he starts watching.
DM, I would like to take this arm and with Asphoda's claw inflict some damage.
Oh. Oh, okay. Huh. Okay, let me read up on the rules. 1 second. Uh-huh. Okay.
Já, þú tókst ekki Neptunian Ingot Vein. En það eru 9 hérna hjá mér.
Nix, you do consider Asphoda your companion, like on your side, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Then okay, so you break him with your claws, draw some blood, and Nix, you don't feel any different.
I don't even
Single-
feel the scratch.
Not a single,
You feel the scratch, but emotionally.
not a single point of damage. Not a
Well-
single point of damage.
Okay. A point of damage. Fine.
A single point?
I didn't know that that mattered to you, but okay.
This is a dino claw. It should be way more damage.
She's
Can we not try to kill Nyx?
was
Won't
thinking
bleed
of
out.
other ways besides waiting for it to pass.
I know it's fine, but I like the idea of you just sort of like being like, what do you mean I can't do more damage to my ally?
Alright, okay, so you feel a piercing sensation, Nix, but you don't feel any difference in your emotional disposition.
Ouch! Not so rough. I am not so armored as you. My flesh is squishy and soft.
Yes, and so was Irina when her spine snapped.
Að smelta 12 hluti í einu er huge.
Okay, let's re-roll the saving throw at this point.
Oh, my saving throw? Oh, you're rolling
yeah,
for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll for you. No.
Irina was. Nix looks at Asphodel as he like mentions it, and he's still a little drunk, and he's kind of like not really all that there at this point. It's almost like it's repressed.
I mean,
And
sorry.
he looks at her and kind of his face changes to be more sullen and blank.
I mean, I know Illyria is not like doing the best, but like, would she like at this point notice that something is off about Nick?
What do you think? Would she pay this attention to Nix at this point?
Well, I mean, she knows obviously he cared a lot for Irina.
Oh, okay, so this moment is where you get the epiphany. Okay, I allow it.
So Nix kind of like attempts to withdraw his arm from the clutches of Sir Asphodel.
She keeps it tight and says, Strahd did that, you know. Strahd. The one that he claimed to have been done accidentally.
But he wouldn't do such a thing like this, you know.
But he did.
But not on purpose. He's too much
dead.
of a good guy.
She's dead now.
I know she's dead. I know she's dead, Sir Asphodel.
Then why are you making excuses for him? You told me that you wanted him dead.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened. A lot of things have happened today.
Yes, very much so.
Not trying to feel right now, if you hadn't guessed.
You have no problems having feelings towards him, now don't you?
He is extraordinary, and I'm sure each one of you felt it.
What's that? An excuse. Those words and feelings aren't your own. You're being manipulated. He's playing you like a fiddle. Like you on that organ.
I don't think so. I think I would know if someone plays me like a fiddle. I've had it done to me several times.
Well, you've not learned from him because you're being played again.
I disagree. I disagree with you as for that. Now give me back my arm, for I need to bandage it after such a forceful and aggressive foreplay.
She puts, she does lay on hands one point. And let's go.
Thank you. Now, we don't want to be impolite guests. Clearly, he has gone through great troubles to at least give us a shelter from the cold mists of Barovia.
I simply can't wait until you leave yourself out of this unfortunate stupor. And she'll take a bed.
Yeah.
Alright. As you sit down and let all what has happened wash over you, there's been a lot of things that has happened, and a lot of things that people want you to do or have reacted in different ways. So let me remind you a little bit if you want to have like a discussion tonight about it, or if you want to think about what your character would think about which direction to go if you discuss about this in the morning. Either way, so the Protectorate is anti-vampire. They don't want any vampire masters anymore. They're saying fuck it to the big ban, you know. They stabbed their former vampire masters in the back, and then there were two sides. It was Duchess Nonell, the bloodthirsty orc vampire, on the one side, and the Protectorate on the other side. And Strahd was the ruler, a very short time, but was the ruler of the Savage Empire before he mysteriously disappeared and attacked Karnas and kind of started all of this chaos. Though Strahd says that he has good reasons for it. The Protectorate sent Aspida and Illyria as diplomatic envoys to start a diplomatic conversation with the Count of Barovia. They do not know it is Strahd. Ismark an arena called Strahd the Devil, and claims that Strahd has done a lot of bad things to Barovians. The Vistani, on the other hand, respects him, pities him, and works together with him. Madame Eva wanted you to find items and allies to kill him, to end his torment and the curse, she said. Arena is allegedly accidentally killed by him in a fit of anger. Strahd says because the curse started because of the Barovians, and that's why he's so angry at them, and that they continue to torment him, and he just torments them back. He wants Illyria to stay, but has compromised to allow her to roam in the valley of Barovia. He wants Aspida to deliver his message that he welcomes anyone who from the Protectorate who wants to live in Barovia in return of money and magical items to the Protectorate itself. He wants Carcass to return to his people so he can bring them over to Barovia and settle here, all to make Barovia thrive and come alive again, according to his own words. And he hasn't really said anything about Nyx except his dinner. Yeah, so that's all of the different opinions that you have gotten around Strahd, and all the things that people want you to do surrounding Strahd or by Strahd.
Oh boy.
I mean, I would have a question the Protectorate. They wouldn't consider a deal like that, right? Or would they? I highly doubt it.
Very doubt it.
From a principle standpoint, both of you are very correct to say. Highly doubt it. But, sometimes there are criminals that are hard to, takes money for them, for you to have them in prisons or dissenters or political opposing factions. Magical item doesn't sound like a bad idea when you're fighting against a vampire.
I mean,
horde.
at the same time, the Protectorate is very much they do everything to win this war, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying as well. So there's principles there, strong principles, but there's also desperation.
Okay.
So it's not clear. That's what I'm trying to say.
Aspida's got ideas that will, she would have to leave first and foremost, and then I guess regroup later.
Do you talk about this together as a group now after a moment of silence?
I think we might
Huddle.
wait until the others are, until Nyx is back to his normal self.
Yeah, when he's sober.
Alright, so you've been mulling over this before
And
bed.
I think Illyria is very much trying to come to terms with the fact that she is a glorified hostage by a crazy vampire man that she also feels somehow drawn to, and she keeps like, and she had this weird vision, and she doesn't know what's going on, and he killed a friend, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Conflicting.
Nix will take a seat by the fire as you're like a little off to the side as the others are telling him things that he feels like aren't applicable, even though they totally are. And that he's like out of his mind, but he doesn't feel like he is. Like everything seems very logical to him for whatever reason. Like, why would they hurt his friend? And kind of just like sulks there, stewing in the essences and the aroma of the wine on his breath.
Maybe Strahd will come get him.
Do you say that out loud?
No.
Damn.
That would be quite funny, actually.
I mean, honestly,
Everyone just looks at him.
if it was any other situation, Illyria would say something along those lines, but nope.
Then he will sulk.
Sometime.
Crocus is currently up to some shenanigans, by the way.
Oh.
So I imagine Illyria and Aspida have had like this very short, very quiet whisper to themselves. Nyx, of course, is doing his tearing. Crocus is now making his best attempt at making a duplicate Crocus out of a
What?
mixture of vegetables and a pillowcase and all that. And he's tucking it into bed.
Oh,
Oh,
you're making like
no.
a straw crocus underneath the. Okay, I see. Yeah.
Well, we
okay,
don't have any
that's-
straw really, so he's basically gone for a melon. He's like forced two like lemons into the face to make up eyes. You got some grapes and all that for nostrils. It's quite a piece of art.
I mean, do you have any art skill that would be applicable for this?
Not at all. He's a crazy gnome.
Okay.
Can we roll to how bad this will be?
Yes. Exactly. Considering like the material that you have to work with, we're gonna roll here with disadvantage.
Yes.
And I think we're just going to make it a straight a straight manipulation roll.
Oh no. Well, that's just fine.
Whoa! Oh no, 15. Okay. Yeah, I forgot for a moment. They rolled twice.
It's not bad looking like pumpkin.
No, but the materials that you have is like surprisingly, crafted. But if you take like longer than a second to look at it, it kind of falls apart. But from a glance in the peripheral, yeah.
Yeah. So he's doing that, and he's piling some soft stuff underneath the bed because he's trying to sleep under the bed.
Yeah. You fit down there.
Of course he does.
God. So it's just
All right. Do you guys talk about anything else, or do you all like drift to sleep eventually?
well, Aspida will drift asleep eventually because she believes that until Nyx is not in this charmed state, they're going nowhere.
Right. Lyria?
I mean, I imagine Illyria, like, having a hard time falling asleep, but eventually, like, exhaustion, like, gets her.
Crocus?
One last Crocus activity. He wants to put his ladle, business end, into the fire pit and keep a cloth nearby it. And then crawl into his little defensive bunker, awaiting things to happen. Because right now we got 3 potential vampires right next to him.
Oh god.
Lol. Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
How do you know, Crocus? How do you know? Maybe they were vampires all along.
Well, actually, this is the thing. Illyria could very well be like the long distant like offspring of, she could be part Strahd. Asphod's already been nommed on by a vampire. Oh no, and Illyria's already been bitten as well. But then there's Nyx. He's acting a little bit shady, a little bit weird. Maybe it was the wine. Maybe it was that halfling he was speaking of. So yeah. But yeah, he's just gonna, nestle down underneath the bed,
Okay. And then
ready.
Okej, jag bjöd till mig.
Part Strahd.
Så nice.
Which part?
I don't
The
know.
best part.
3x3s.
The hairdo.
The hairdo.
The forearms.
tomorrow,
Oh, them four.
Illyria are gonna start speaking like Vlad wants blood.
Oh god.
And they'll be getting heated ladle if they do.
Okay. Yeah, and then Nix, does sleep take you?
It depends on. I mean, he's going to be staring at the coals for a while, so it depends on whether or not he passes his saving throw.
The charm saving throw. So as long as he's charmed, it's gonna stay awake.
No, as in, like, I don't know how long it takes for the re-saving throw to happen, if at all, or however long this charm lasts. Because he'd be, like, maybe up for an hour, or maybe two, just, like, kind of sulking in his own juices.
Alright, it will not pass until then.
Well, because everyone else is going to be up for a while. So it's just a question of whether or not the charm spell or the charm effect will last beyond when Illyria falls asleep or not.
It will.
It will?
It will, yes.
Okay. Then Nyx will try and stealth out of the room.
Wait, how long after people being asleep is this? Because Crocus is on alert.
Yeah, for sure. He will try and, like, tiptoe out, kind of like how in Emperor's New Groove, Kronk does the tiptoeing on his little tiny toes.
Yeah.
He has his own theme
Alright.
song.
I'd love to see it. I'm sorry, I get distracted. Alright, then let's do, I would say here, since you're not completely in full view of Kraka, since you hunker down underneath the bed, this would be more a stealth dexterity, and and a perception composure from the Krakas.
Perception. Oh, yeah, my composure's bad, isn't it? Composure. No, it's not bad. It's fine. And I've got perception, I think. I just want to check. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Composure, yeah? Yeah? Yeah. Sorry. What? No.
What?
Oh, I forgot to put roll. No.
Yeah, alltså,
Why would I forget roll?
Slash R.
Hey, that failed horribly.
Should it be a little bit more than that? Don't you have +1 in composure or zero in composure?
No, I have 0.
Ah, okay. Then it's +2. Indeed. No. So, Nyx, you tiptoe with your own theme song. All right. Where do you go?
He has no clue where he's gonna go. He's just gonna tiptoe down the corridor. He's searching for his buddy.
Oh no.
He's searching for some booty.
He's gonna want to confront him. See, wait a second. Did you mean to do the whole spine snapping thing? It was just a mistake, right? He's gonna try and want to clear that air.
Okay. So do you go down the corridor, or do you dip into the mirror room?
He has no idea. I mean, he knows we've been in the mirror room, right?
Yes.
So he knows Strahd's not there. So he's gonna go where he hasn't been.
Okay. You head down the corridor. After it's really dark. Even with like dark vision, it gets a little bit flimsy. Certain like a few meters ahead of you. So the stairs that goes up suddenly appear like almost out of nowhere, a few meters ahead of you. It's a cold draft that come down these stairs.
Okay. I will, at the bottom of the stairs, like a toddler, go, Strahd. Ooh.
You call out like that for like a minute or two in like complete silence, and just when you're about to like give up, there are these soft footsteps that come down the stairs, and
I throw myself up against the wall, trying to hide.
um Helga comes down the stairs, looking like to the side, obviously seeing you after a moment of looking around.
Nyx gives like a stupidly large grin at Helga here. I just out for a little bit of exercise before sleep. Maybe some aerobics. Some sort of activity. You wouldn't happen to know if Strahd's up, do you?
A stern look comes across her face, and she says, "The Lord said that the castle wasn't prepared for." And she stops like mid sentence. Her eyes become glassy for a moment, her jaw a little bit slack. She looks up slightly, and she like shudders, a bit in ecstasy, a small smile to herself. And then she turns her gaze there in the moment again to you with like a half annoyed look. You are certainly lucky, Vistani. He's looking for you too.
Ooh, of course.
Follow me.
Nyx follows.
She stealthily goes down the hallway. back
Oh,
to
back down. Okay.
back to the mirror room.
Oh, no, this is where my friends are. Oh,
She feels on the wall and then pushes, and the organ creaks a little bit open. Crackers, let's do another perception compulsion. The castle creaks, like some distance away from you. There's like a creak that you don't know what it is. Do you say where you are?
What was that?
You hear a creak. Like the castle has been creaking a little bit. Like the stone has been battered by wind. There's some distant thunder. There's some wood that creak here and there. But this time the creak is fairly close.
Caracas is just basically just getting ready for whatever going to happen, but he's just going to stay under there. There's not much for him to do. He's just trying to remain stealthy. He's waiting for someone to come into the room rather than
seeing what happens. Okay, get you.
Yeah.
All right.
He's not going to go chasing sounds.
I mean, if we walk down the corridor, though, if he's watching, so if
watching down the corridor?
if he's here, are you watching down the corridor?
I was thinking the bed would be more to the side anyway, so it'd be like more obscure in the fact that there's a little man underneath the bed. So ultimately, he's not going to be able to see down the hallway.
Smooth.
And Helga, hugs the shadows a little bit, and she walks
Mhm.
silently, not to wake anybody.
Okay.
You enter into the dinner room again. It has been completely cleaned. The chandeliers above are is now is dark. A little bit colder as the fireplace is just now embers, dying embers. You walk out into the hallway where the shining knight stood in attention, into the columned grand entry with the gargoyles sitting around the domed roof, and then she turns actually outside, turns for the big oaken doors to head out to the courtyard.
Huh.
It is a chill wind that hits you when you shudder a little bit.
Well, Nick's will head outside. If she goes outside,
Mhm.
he will stop at the door
Uh-huh.
and be going, "Do you know where you're going? I mean, I had no plans to go outside in the cold night. I thought he must be inside, somewhere cozy, warm."
The Lord phoned me that he is at the lookout tonight.
Oh, well, if you're sure.
He told me himself. And she gets a little bit ecstasy again in her gaze.
Right. Well, I'm sure, he's a nice guy and all.
She nods. You do not want to keep him waiting. A meeting like this is a gift.
If you say so.
She nods.
Follows.
Alright, you head into the mists. Very thick. Even thicker during the night, almost like caressing you as you walk. You turn sharply to the left and you walk past the castle to one of the great walls sections of the courtyard in the front and back area. There's a small gate in the middle of this wall with a iron put coolies that has been raised up. And she walks through it silently and quickly, a little like a mouse, That's what you get your feeling from her. She moves past with as little, taking up as little presence as possible, but do so quickly.
I follow less quickly, like a mouse.
A little bit more apprehensive.
Or
Well,
like a
no, not apprehensive, just more like this seems unnecessary, kind of. Not needing to be so dexterous, just like, going to meet my buddy.
You can hint through the mist directly to the left. The back of the castle seems to be this cathedral of a sort. High stained windows in brilliant colors but dark. Lift up several meters up in the air. It's almost like hard to see where these stained glass windows end. And you can vaguely hint like a domed roof of copper that has turned stark green from time on top. But she walks past all of that towards the back wall of the castle, where there's a small opening between these gigantic and thick and towering walls to create a little bit of a balcony. There's some small houses on this balcony, but it ends in a stone balcony fence, and then just a sheer drop, and the howling wind and the dark landscape beyond. And standing there, close to the edge, with his hands clasped behind his back, with a proud posture, with his back towards you, seems to be Strahd.
Found you. Yeah, you left so quickly at dinner. I did not get my chance to say thank you.
He glances behind him, a small smile playing on his lips, and then says, "My apologies. I got a little bit carried away. My emotions. I did not wish to be a bad host, but I fear that my state were inappropriate."
I wouldn't say so. I mean, so you had a little bit of a hiccup. It's no big deal. You didn't have to run out of the room crying. I mean, we could have just. I could have dabbed your face with a napkin, perhaps. It would have been great. But in any case,
I wasn't crying. A few tears fell, but I did not cry. Nix. Who do you
Sure.
think I am?
This will be a secret between us, you know. It's okay, you know. We men have emotions too. We can cry. You can cry for me if you want to. Let's cry together, perhaps.
You are strange one, Stani. So full of life and so unafraid of me. It is different.
It's curious that you would think that your friends would be afraid of you. I mean, you must be so lonely if that's the case.
They should fear me, but respect me too. And be loyal. It's only prudent. I am, after all, the lord of these lands, and I'm shoulder the responsibility of being a lord. Therefore, justice is mine. But let us turn from such topics that weigh so heavily to what I really want to talk to you about, Nix. I didn't get a satisfactory answer during the dinner, and it irritates me.
It seemed that I also had a issue of emotions earlier in dinner before I came to my senses when you gave me that stare. I did not mean to cause offense. It was not my intention. It was something I don't know. It's been a very long day, perhaps. Because I was sitting on the cot for a long time, and then you showed up, and then things happened, and then more cot sitting, and we had a short dinner, and you ran off too early in the night. So perhaps I was just a little bit upset. What answer? Well, which question did you feel you did not get a satisfactory answer to?
Madam Eva. Why did she protect you? Why did she take you under her wing? You are the first. It is unusual for her.
Unusual for you, perhaps. Outcast for me. It wasn't a good arrangement for me as a kid to be coddled by Madame Eva. The other Vistani never understood why. I just assumed that was the way things went. It wasn't until much later until I realized that. And by that point, I had already been put into a pigeonhole. It's difficult for a pigeon to break out of a pigeonhole. I don't know why she treated me so differently or kept me away from the things that the other Vistani did. She seemed to be exceptionally interested in me, and I knew no difference. I just saw what the other Vistani were doing in their lives, and I figured they too were having the same sort of experience as I was. It wasn't until much later that I came to my senses that things weren't exactly the way they should be, and the glares of the other Vistani, the hushed whispers and tones, always kept on the outside.
There is
So,
strength in that, young one. You have their attention. You have their worry. Have their fear. You can go strong from such a position. You can rise above.
I don't think anyone has really said that to me before.
Well, Madame Eva does not turn her eye and shelter someone without a good reason. And she never told you why. Why she treated you differently than the hundreds of Vistani that has been born and passed before her eyes.
I just thought she liked me.
Interesting. So the pup were never told. What a conundrum. Then, young one, do you know why she betrayed me?
What? She betrayed you?
She read into my future. She used her Vistani eye to try and find weaknesses of mine. Our contract all these years have allowed us to live in harmony with each other, but she broke it. Why?
Why, indeed?
Now he turns fully towards you. All this time he has had his arms behind his back in almost like a military posture, just squinting out into the darkness and the Barovian village far in the distance. He's going to empathy check you.
Mm-hmm.
So roll deception or manipulation. Persuasion, depending upon which is applicable.
Persuasion with manipulation? Is that what you said?
Well, is this deception or is it
Oh,
persuasion?
deception. I mean,
Deception, yes.
deception. I mean, with the manipulation or presence.
What do you think? Is he relying on his body language right now, or is it like trying to make his voice steady and truthful? I can see both happening here.
I can see both too. I mean, he has to maintain a decent body language to not give anything away. At the same, it's kind of like half and half.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking. What would Nix lean towards more?
He's generally more of like confident in his body language. I mean, his whole thing is about looking the part, and whether or not he sounds the part, kind of, he leaves up to chance. But I mean, he's good at both. But you know, he's more confident in like holding secrets through looking like he knows what he's doing.
Right. Agreed. Definitely agreed. Okay, let's do deception with manipulation then. No, presence. Holy
Damn.
shit.
Be good.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, my result is higher, but it isn't like a critical.
I mean, criticals don't happen. You know, it doesn't add anything in Frostmark in the skill check, does it?
Not necessarily, no. But I always like as a GM choice.
Okay.
I want a critical to matter.
Okay.
Or a critical fail.
It is green.
It is green.
It's
So
green.
there's always a chance, you know, for something, unless it's not like super impossible, like without
All right.
it needs to
The
be within
impossible
realm.
happens.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the 1% chance.
Yeah. He stares at your into your eyes for several seconds, gauging your reaction as you're trying to hold your body language neutral and open, and you're surprised how well you're able to succeed. And his eyebrows furrows for a second, and he changes his tone of his voice from being stern and his body language to be a little bit more relaxed, and a smirk plays on his lips as he says, "Aren't we friends, you and I, Nix? Good friends that look out for each other. If there is anything you know about what happened so tragically to Madame Eva, I would very much like to know. So think hard, young one. Is there something you are forgetting?"
Forgive me, Strahd, but my hair still smells like the insides of Madame Eva. It has not been a while, a long enough time for me to really come to terms with what happened. Then that night, or that morning, was surprising, and it left a pretty large mark on my insides. So if you would forgive me if I do not really have the wherewithal to recall such a harrowing experience. It is not every day that you see the person who raised you erupt from the inside out.
he had been leaning a little bit, towards you, and now he straightens his back, gives you a thoughtful expression, and then turns his head, and his intensity kind of leaves with his gaze as it wanders back into the darkness, and he says, "Very well. I would
I want
like
to be a good friend. I mean, like you said, we are good friends. But come on, as a friend, what if it was your mother that exploded in front of your eyes? I mean, a little bit of sympathy wouldn't go amiss.
Do not assume, young one, to know what happened to me, to my mother. Think before you speak."
Sorry. Drinking.
You shall address her with your utmost reverence. It's Queen Ravenovia to you.
Of course. Queen Brother move. Yeah, yes. Sorry, one more time.
Oh no.
He takes a
I'm joking. We're light-hearted, we're friends. Come on. Of course, I know it's Queen Robert. Yes, of course.
If you ever would remember a detail about your encounter with Madame Eva before her unfortunate transformation.
Could I ask, since you know about it already, it is a little bit confusing to me that such a creature would burst out of her, and it's been on my mind. I'm not going to lie. Not every day you see a gargoyle jump out of your mother. Do you know how? Why?
The contract between me and Eva has protected her. Protected her from the curse. She's almost as old as I am. Lived in this valley as long as I have. I have been afflicted by the curse greatly. Yet, Eva only turned old forever. She had used to me, and I think that the curse recognized that. But as soon as she broke our contract, she was vulnerable. And please, she did not turn into a mere gargoyle. It's far stronger than that. Befitting one as her.
Is she here?
Here.
In the castle?
I captured her for the safety of my people. She is indeed in the catacombs, safely locked away, so she cannot hurt the Vestani that she has loved for her whole life. She came to me willingly, and out of our friendship, I complied.
Thank you. I appreciate your candor. Well, I just
You
wanted to check
see,
you're okay.
that I am a great friend to the Vistani, and I can be a great friend to you next too. If Madame Eva shows you that you must be in some way special,
Infinite lava sources or infinite...
know that there are many benefits and rewards if you decide to work more closely with me. And you don't have to decide right now, but if you do remember any detail of your conversation with her, she's quite out of her mind to tell me anything, then please consider coming back, and I will promise you there will be rewards. Like the one right now. What do you want, Nix? For escorting the diplomat and Lady Lyria to me.
What do I want?
Aye. What do you want?
Ger ikke hjemme, men jag vill nog ge faktiskt något bättre för dig. Det här var like... Det här liggande lava är något du redan vet, Lenny.
I don't know. I don't know what I want. Right now I'm in a strange place with some friends,
Kanske Mikael lava.
and a lot of bad things have happened to me.
Jag var ännu mer på tanken på fjordar.
If you could make the bad thoughts stop happening, that would be nice.
You wish to not remember.
Not especially. I think we grow from such encounters, but I have this deep sorrow inside of me. I just know if I begin to cry, I will cry for weeks.
I have heard that there is a pie.
Son of a bitch.
Is Strahd currently encouraging Nix's
He's
addiction?
a pusher. God.
He's the CEO of the company.
He is a fellow pieman.
No. It's
He is the
Strahd
hack.
Pies Incorporated.
No, it says, I have heard about the new phenomena with the Barovians, about the pie that can make you happy for a while, but I wonder if it's as long term as you want it to be. Very well. Look into my eyes. Relax. And do not resist. Alright. He's going to start casting.
He wouldn't hurt me.
There's like this red and black light that starts to like that starts shining from Strahd's back, like almost illuminating whatever scenery that is behind Strahd, and in his hand a purple soul dances, and he says some quick words in Kopta, and modifies your memory.
Okay.
And he removes he doesn't remove the memory that Madame Eva is dead. He doesn't remove the memory that Alenka is dead or that Irina is dead. But he removes several memories of them dying, and several memories of you like sulking and being depressed. So he leaves the fact but removes every like emotional like load and moment that you've had since then, and the dramatic moments of their passing.
As if someone else has told me of the news whilst I wasn't there.
Yes.
Gotcha.
This is gonna be interesting.
And since you're not resisting, I'm not gonna ask for the saving throw. It just happens.
Mm-hmm.
He blinks slowly. How do you feel now?
Well, it's sad, but you know, I wasn't really there, I suppose. I mean,
Go ahead.
Then my
I guess
gift
fine.
has been amply received, and I am without debt to you, Dix.
Very well. You have yourself a great night, and I'll go see what my friends are doing if they're still sleeping.
Nix, I am still hungry.
Well, I've heard of this great place that does pies.
His features darken, and he says, "Do you deny me?"
Oh no.
I wouldn't say I deny you from eating pie. I mean, it's up to you, but we're friends.
Friendship high.
It was Nyx.
He just continues to stare with that, with that look on his face that he's not playing around anymore, and he's just silent, waiting for you to stop joking around.
What are you hungry for?
Det flyver inte över en. Så spånar fucking fett för framme.
Is it not obvious?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you have this need to keep a certain flavor in your mouth after dinner.
It's maddening. It's maddening to stop, and the flavor is so sweet. But I need to fill my stomach somehow to remove the temptation, and you will do. You offered. Do you not uphold your promises?
I try to. I mean, certainly for friends, it's just, you know, not too much. I'm here for a while. I mean, we can meet up, you know, on the balcony each night, just have a chat, you and me. I share some blood, you share some stories.
Start walking towards you, not caring about what you're talking about.
No, kick, cry, can hug. It could be a date, perhaps.
He now stands directly in front of you.
Nick's kind of just like breathes in his scent.
What would Strahd scent be?
Sandalwood.
Musky.
Smells of death.
Yeah, there is dust. He smells of dust. Like old perfume. But also, like right now where he's been standing, just a night wind.
Okay. How tall is he in compared to Nyx?
I mean, as the glorious conquering warlord that he is of course like beyond 2 meters.
Okay.
Like maybe 2.1, 2.2, around there, yeah.
Sure. Nyx will look up into his eyes and goes, I didn't realize how tall you were.
And then he slowly but steadily and confidently reaches for your wrist.
As he takes it, Nyx will say, guidance.
Just as out of nervousness. Lol. He first smells he sniffs at your wrist, smelling you in return. Gives you a quizzical look, but then hunger seems to overtake him, and a large chomp into your wrist. And he drains away.
You're 15.
I would say it probably takes in like double what he had before. Yeah.
I just want to say, all I can hear is like, you know, when you suck on a straw. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, 13 piercing damage and 19 necrotic damage, and your HP is reduced by 19 until you take a full rest.
Okay. Nyx goes like a lavender color, like a pale,
Lavender.
as in like a slightly more anemic
I can get
purple.
It was just a
Um,
fun thought.
Pastel purple.
yeah. And he kind of like is a little bit dizzy drunk from being sucked off by Strahd.
Oh god.
Whoa.
Yo,
The wordplay is fantastic.
Thanks, I hate it.
keep going.
He straightens. There's not like a drop of blood in the wrong place. He's impeccably clean. But he still runs his tongue over his lips in satisfaction. But a peculiar taste you have, young one. You do not taste like normal Vistani. Who were your parents?
I thought you knew already.
Are you a half Vistani? A tiefling from another group originally? There is something refreshing in your taste. Vistani usually are rich, like a dark red wine, a bouquet, hints of chocolate and oaken tree. But you are more like a white chocolate. Yes. Much lighter.
You would have to forgive me. I have nothing to compare it against.
find out why you taste so different, please tell me. And I might be able to find this taste by its source. Find out its mysteries. Yes, I would like that. Now, I have business. You made it there.
Nyx like has a furrowed brow and is like nodding, and then like slowly licks the wound of where Strahd bit, like sampling his own bouquet.
Taste irony
I have returned.
and salty and like it's a little bit like eh.
It's like,
It has
what
a
the hell?
almost like a
What?
thick, feeling to it.
Yeah, and he has this thing in the back of his story. He's like, his friend's a fucking idiot. Like the fact that in the same way that someone who drinks a lot of wine is talking about all this bullshit, and then like someone who doesn't drink wine says, yes, it tastes like wine. Nyx is like that. It's like, oh, he's so pretentious. And like he will kind of like, half stumble, like he's drunk, without the blood, back to.
As you stumble a little bit, far away, like a bit away from him, he turns once more and calls out to you. All right, Nyx. It is your job now to keep Illyria safe and follow her wherever she pleases to go in my Barovia. Be a good tourist guide for her, no? And know that her life is worth more than yours. More than all the Vistani combined. So, if you let something happen to Lady Illyria, I guess you will be the only Vistani left.
Nyx does a silent nod and turns and walks away, leaving Frost on the balcony.
Helga comes out from the shadows.
God, stop doing that. I'm a little tired now. Please, if you wouldn't mind taking me back to the guest quarters.
Yes, master. I will. She wrings her hands, still looking a little bit enraptured. You return to the guest quarters and you fall in bed. And you sleep heavily. Your body regenerating the blood lost. And
Does Krakus witness me coming back?
Yes. You're not really that stealthy this time.
No.
Like,
You come in just like stop.
basically. A little bit drunk.
Where have you been, young man?
I was worried sick. Empty room.
You know what time it is?
Oh, no. Well, actually, I like to think no one's realised that Krakus is not in the bed. Did anyone realise that? Like,
yeah, I
there
mean,
is a
it took
fake
a
in the
while
bed?
for you to do this, and everyone was like watching. Maybe it took you like 10 minutes, so it's kind of obvious.
I imagine that Illyria just simply doesn't question your shenanigans anymore, especially right now.
Can I have it that Krakus like basically grabs Nyx by the leg? It's just like king. Just grab. It's like
Is that you, Organ Huffling?
all you're gonna hear is like a deep voice. It's like, where have you been?
Do I know it's Krakus?
I mean, for a moment you were scared that it is the halfling, but you know his voice, you know his antics, so after like a second it clicks in your mind.
I just went for a walk, Krakus. It's no big deal.
A vampire would say that. Handed under the bed.
I mean, I can roll to deceive you, but
Do you want him? Does Crocus seriously think he might be a vampire, or is this
Well, Crocus has basically got a stick for everybody, and he's been breaking them. Which ones he's like, this one's been turned. This one's been turned. He's like, he's like playing a little game of Among Us in his own little head with this. It's like, who's gonna come for me first now?
Do you want to roll any empathy for this?
What, Crocus?
Yeah. To see
I
if
don't
he
know how.
believes.
As if he believes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Alright,
Absolutely.
then let's do a deception. I think this would be
Manipulation.
manipulation. Yeah.
Manipulation.
Beat 23.
Damn. And do you Crocus empathy composure?
Oh, composure. Empathy, composure. Oh, composure's bloody 0, isn't it, still? It's still 0! It's not changed!
20. Not 20 or nothing. Oh my god!
He did not just go out on a walk, okay? There's more to this than what he's saying. He's hiding something from you, Crocus.
And he's hiding that he's a vampire, but at a later point he will address this. At the moment, he's got his sticks that represent each person. One stick has got like a little weave of a little bit of straw on it, which represents Illyria. Another one is just a stick, and it's devoid of any kind of hair or anything on it. And the last one is a stick with curly bits at the end. These 3 sticks represent the people, and one of them could very well be his end, his vampire.
Okay.
Or all of them.
That's amazing.
So,
But
yes.
you don't say anything about it, Crocus, or?
Oh no! Remember, he's a crazy gnome, and he's basically. It's not even plotting. It's more like I need to get out of here. And they gotta pretend that they don't know that I know that they're vampires.
Okay. Eventually, Nix, you fall asleep.
And as he does so, wait a minute. If he's asleep, does he snore loudly? Is there a signal?
He doesn't snore. He's a soft sleeper. He has deep breaths. Which you
Okay.
would know, because you've slept, we spooned before.
He does his deep breaths, and he's like whispering. He's like, "Oh, Strahd." And that's when the Crocus. It's like it's the gnome signal. Da-da-da-da. He does like a stealth roll from out of the bed. Can he stealth roll from under the bed without any roll? Or do I have to roll stealth to sneak up on people in this situation?
It depends upon what you want to do with them. Just rolling out of your bed and standing up is one thing. Standing very close to somebody while they're sleeping is another, and it is a third thing to try and do something with them.
Well, quite simply, he's gonna be in sniffing distance of Nyx's neck because that's where vampires bite, of course. As far as he knows, he's looking for bite marks.
Okay, I will say that you do this pretty carefully, and as you're sniffing the air. You do get a weird scent of dust and old perfume, and night air, but there's no mark on his neck.
The plot thickens, and he creeps back into his little bunker.
Do you sleep at all during this
Pillow
night?
fort.
Does Crocus sleep at all during this night?
Oh, he's not sleeping at all. He's worried. He's going to be bonked in the morning. He's ruined.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Fun stuff. Okay. So, do you guys want a break, or should we just keep on going?
If you allow me to get a glass of water, I'll be right back.
I should also get that.
I'll take the opportunity to eat my banana.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm gonna grab a snack.
Do
I'm going
it.
to go powder my nose.
Nice.
Okay. Run away, no. I'm back.
you're having an okay time, Shad. Hope you're having enjoying the time. Enjoying the session.
I'm sure they love our suffering and jokes about Strahd sucking people.
I do.
I mean, of course you enjoy our suffering. You're the DM.
Yeah. This is my job description.
Back.
Meanwhile, I can't stop apologizing every time I DM.
Oh, really? As soon as
Hopefully-
you do something bad to your players, do you apologize?
Yeah.
Damn, I have a lot to apologize if that is. I'm just gleefully enjoying myself. Ooh,
I mean,
hit for so much damage.
every time I crit somebody, I'm just like, I'm so sorry.
And here I am over here, like laughing like evilly. If
The DM isn't meant to be actively against the players.
no, I'm just joking. What I enjoy, is emotional impact. When I'm
Yeah.
able to have emotional impact, be it good or bad.
I don't know.
Wiggle big.
I can't wait for the conversation we're about to have when Nyx is back to his senses.
It's about to go down.
I hope it wasn't too long for you guys. I apologize.
Not at all, no.
It's like adding the final spice to a pot full of a mess.
It's a Nyx
No.
jambalaya.
I didn't want it to go on further than that, but I think it was an important little mini adventure that Nyx should have had. You know, my reasons as well. But I'm sure that situations like that will also come in the future for other people.
Yeah, I mean, I love those bits, and I will very happily just listen.
Me too. I love it when it happens. It's like watching a movie.
It's true.
And likewise, no one should feel, well, you're gonna, but no one should feel too bad about the roleplay. Take your time if you want to. Don't rush things for the sake of our enjoyment, because we're already enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one thing to rush reactions, and it's another thing to drag out content. Like if there's no content, there's no content. But don't rush the
As if-
reactions.
This Strahd recommended eat some pies. God.
Like, you know I'm drawing this, right?
I mean,
You need to
as
do a billboard.
He said he had heard there's something about pies that the Barovians are enjoying. So it doesn't sound like he
Look.
knows that much about them.
Uh-huh.
Look,
He can be coy about his,
it's
shady
canon
business.
now that Strahd is a drug dealer.
Yep.
He's a
He's
pie
totally,
dealer.
he's totally a dealer.
Okay. Let's bring it back.
Back now. What?
Some of you guys sleep. Some of you guys sleep a full rest. I would say that Nyx, if you guys wake up a little bit later than normal, that you get a full rest, but you're feeling groggy, okay? You know, and then on top of everything, you know, the hangover, the regret,
Well,
the guilt.
the thing is, he kind of sucked all that wine out of his bloodstream.
Ah,
so,
that's true. That's true.
you know,
Strahd is drunk.
yeah, that's maybe why it's so sweet.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, maybe Nyx has discovered a new hangover cure.
Oh no!
That's wonderful.
No!
Hey,
Every
you
time
don't have any blood in your system.
Golden finds a vampire.
Yeah, this is big brain time, you know? Can't get drunk if you got no blood.
If you got no blood, you die.
It's a problem.
All right. But I think Asphoda and Illyria, the no Krakus, of course, would be up. But then I think Illyria and Asphoda would feel a little bit uncomfortable having Nyx sleep for longer, so they probably wake you up, Nyx. And there isn't much change in the weather. There's still this distant thunder rolling. It's still a dark grey sky outside, but at least it's brighter.
Nyx will stretch. Two things. Is Nyx still like thinking Strahd is his friend still? And two,
No,
well, depends on number one. No?
your head is cleared.
Oh god. Okay. So Nyx's reaction of waking up, even though he feels refreshed, even though groggy, he has the wake up of shame. You know, like wake you up in someone else's bed and you're like, what the hell have I done? And, like he's like looking for his underwear. It's like because he's naked, obviously. But yeah, he's gonna be like heckin' embarrassed. He's like gonna like minimal eye contact whilst he's like up and ready and stuff like that. He's certainly not confident right now. Good morning, everyone. Did you sleep well?
All right. Are you feeling better?
I'm fine.
More like yourself?
Well, perhaps in some types of myself. I apologize. As for that, I apologize for snapping at you last night. It was rude of me, and I don't know if it was the wine or something else, but I would appreciate it if we kind of didn't talk about it again.
No, it's actually very pertinent, Nyx. How do you feel about Strahd?
His cheeks flush fuchsia. And then they're like fuchsia from embarrassment, and then they're fuchsia from like an internal kind of rage. And then he kind of takes a breath and controls his feelings. He goes, he is quite a formidable creature.
Oh, I thought he was your friend. A swell, nice guy.
Well, as for that, I have made some mistakes, and I'm not too big of a man to own up to them. I had a bit of a night. I'm sure you can imagine the stress of trapping you here and then encountering him.
It's simply a matter of me confirming that you're not charmed anymore, but given your great embarrassment, I think we're past that.
Would Nyx know the charm spell exists?
Okay.
Are you muted or something?
Alright.
Not necessarily. You know from the Vistani, like rumors that Strahd is very charming and I wouldn't say not dazzling, but mesmerizing. And to talk about like reverence towards him. But you do not know about the charm ability that Asfala is speaking of now.
Charm, Asfala?
Oh, I guess you're unfamiliar with it. Vampires can influence one's personality and decisions. Not control, but certainly influence them. You were quite distressed, understandably, and your hatred of him was quite clear. So he made it not so.
People can do that?
Yes, very much so. The vampires especially. He made you believe that he was your best friend and that you wanted to do anything you could to help him out.
When Nyx hears this, his expression changes like he's just eaten the most sour of fruits. They cannot believe that is possible to make me feel something I shouldn't. How fucking dare he? Of course, I remember what I said, but I was just thinking what was the wine, but he took away my abilities to feel what I really wanted to feel.
Yes.
Where's Krakos? Krakos?
Crackers is under. Wow, wait a minute. Is he under the bed still? All you're gonna hear is a grumble from underneath the bed. Yes. Is that? He's been up all night. He hasn't had any sleep. He's like. If it's the cartoon, you just see like his mouth open and just little like ghosts come out of it, like his soul.
Yeah, and really dark underneath the eyes, sluggish. If you're up for like a few more hours, then exhaustion will come your
His
way.
eyes are shrunk.
No beady eyes.
God.
He's got cockerel's eyes, little beads, a big head.
Nyx will go over to his pillow fort, and kneel down, I suppose, and say, Krakos, my friend, did you see? Did you notice?
Crocus is thinking into himself about like the what could this vampire be after? What information? It's just like Crocus is like, you came back late.
Oh, right.
You said you just went out in the air.
Wait, he left?
I didn't see him leave. And this is Crocus crawling out from underneath. And he's like, I didn't see him leave. But he came back, staggered, walking as if he was a zombie.
He left.
This Strahd creature is very sneaky. He must have took him very quietly in the night.
Wow. And all of this like a dramatic tone, like a detective or something. Yeah.
Yes. And meanwhile, Crocus has got like his little vial, little silver powder. He's just kind of like he's fumbling it, like he's getting ready for like Nyx to jump and go. And he's just gonna fling it at him.
As for that.
Yes. He's left the room. Where did you go, Nyx? Do you remember?
You remember? You'd rather not remember. But, one thing, just let me... I will tell you, just... Krakos, did you not notice that I was not me.
Crocus is gonna. Well, Crocus has seen drunk so many times and hitting on so many people. He's just like, yeah, that's pretty typical. He's like, you were normal. I think.
Oh no.
This is not a good light for Nix.
Oh no.
Standard pillow talk. Hmm?
Right, okay. New rule. When we're surrounded by vampires, I'm not going to be in the flirty mood.
Yes,
If
but
I-
Crocus still grumble. But yes, but what if you are the vampire? Then you are the flirty.
I could just hear the internal monologue like a film noir. It's like, my friend Nix, he said these things, but did I believe him? Time will tell.
As he turns to gaze out into the mists of the courtyard.
It's just, it would be hilarious to have that as like an inner monologue that everyone can hear. Sorry.
Takes up one of the sticks and pretends it's a cigar.
Then he
You
realizes
seem
he's
distraught.
broken his like Nick thing. He's like, oh, what's it? Now I'm gonna have to make another one.
If you, so if I'm flirty ever again, I want you to hit me with a ladle.
What, this ladle? Because Crocus is now going to grab the heated up ladle that's been sitting in the fire all night and not think to wrap it up. Like, this ladle,
Oh no.
does he take damage?
I mean,
no,
God.
no. This is what happens. You bring up the ladle, and then half of it falls away in embers.
Oh no.
It's a
no.
metal ladle, though.
It's a wooden
Metal ladle?
ladle. Has been
It's a metal
constituted-
ladle.
It's a metal ladle?
Wait,
Yeah,
What
this
is
whole
it-
time
what
I've
is
been
made of?
bonking with. I've been bonking with iron this whole time.
To be fair, he has said he's like it's bent and stuff and wouldn't really.
yeah, I was like,
do
but
that.
I'm pretty sure when I asked once, you said wooden, and I was really confused how
yeah,
a wooden
yeah.
ladle
He
is
did.
It was
Because
slightly
it was, like,
burned with the
charred.
radiance. You remember? It was slightly cracked and burned once upon a time.
What's
Yeah,
the iron
it's-
bark? It's both metal and wood.
Can't have it both ways, man.
Yeah.
You have
Alright, okay, the handle is metal. The rest of it is wood. And the rest of it falls away in black embers.
Right, yeah, Croc's gonna lift it up now and go, no! No! With a kind of drop the silver on the floor, this little vial. It might as well be broken. He's like holding the grasp with his broken hand. It's like, oh, oh. And he's just gonna go to the corner and like, and just like in shame.
Right. Well, he's a lost cause.
Corona! I laid on Corona.
Nix will kind of like roll his eyes and stand up and look towards Asphoda and Illyria. Like dust off his clothing, like he's ready to testify. Yes, I left last night. I don't know what it was. Maybe as for you were saying he was a bad guy, and I was like, no, he can't be a bad guy. And then I had to go see for myself. So I left. And I went down the hallway a little bit, and I was interrupted by Helga, and she took me to see Strahd.
You left, and you saw Strahd alone, while Lyria and I were asleep, and Crocus didn't see you leave.
No, to be fair though, Krakus gets distracted easily.
I'll certainly take note of that from now on, but do continue. You went and saw Strahd alone. What happened?
Well, now that I know that I was charmed, information I could have learned earlier, perhaps, but that is beside the point. I did get to see quite a bit more of the castle grounds, So there's that at least. But I was taken to a balcony overlooking Barovia village, nearby the cathedral. And I had a conversation with Strahd by myself, under the influence, as if drugged like a pie.
What did you talk about?
Well, he seemed to be very interested in me, and also you, Illyria. A little too interested, if I'm to be honest. He wanted to know where I was from. He told me I was not like the other Vistani. Perhaps I did not even come from that tribe which we left with Madame Eva. Which is news to me. And explains that quite a lot. And also I learned that Madame Eva, my parental figure,
I'm just gonna add
she
here, like when you say Madame Eva and your thoughts go to, her death, there's no memory of the explosion or the gargoyle creature. You know what happened, but there's no memories of the actual event, and it leaves you a little bit disconcerted.
Mhm. So Nick pauses for a second and like rubs his head like maybe that one hit me harder than I thought. Well, Madame Eva made a deal with Strahd. Apparently she was very old too. Apparently they were friends. They were friendly. And she broke a deal they made. Which is why I suppose it's a little hazy. I suppose, that's why she's no longer with us. So he was curious about where I came from and curious about.
I'm sorry, could you repeat like what he said? He supposed what, Madame Eva?
That Madame Eva was a friend.
Okay.
She betrayed him? Or wait, what did you say exactly?
I guess. It's a little hazy. It was quite a long night, but they had this deal, and she broke the deal, and therefore she is no longer with us. But she kinda is, if you think about it.
I don't think that flying thing would count as Madame Eva.
Well, be that as it may, he took her in, protected her, so there's these like remnants of thoughts and feelings like he had last night that Strahd was his friend, and now he kind of like catches himself as he's saying these words and realizing they're all lies, and he kind of like clenches his jaw and his fist and it's like, no, he is a monster. He drank of me like he drank of you, Illyria. He told me I tasted different, which makes me very curious as to why I would taste differently from a Vistani. And then he told me to protect Illyria. And if anything would happen to her, I would be the last Vistani.
That is quite a
Ultimatum.
to make for my sake.
What is
Which
he to you?
and she just sort of like tries to get her thoughts sorted, shakes her head, and just sort of like, I wish I could tell you.
I think the question is more of the opposite direction. What is she to him? And clearly, very important.
Who is Tatiana? Do you know who Tatiana is? Illyria?
Well, I asked about it at like during the dinner. She give me a second while I pull up my notes. I'm a bad player.
Brr, brr. It's his wife. Brr.
Just like give me a second.
While that is taking place, can Krakos look at the dishes for the fruits and see if there's anything which is bowl-like and made of metal,
Oh no.
or even
There
wood?
Leo
four-
2.0.
there are four metal cups. A like a sturdy clay water pitcher, and a silver platter with almost no food on it any longer because you used it for your straw man.
Which is looking rather droopy and sad on the bed because it's been really weirdly mashed together.
Yeah, it's
Ew.
not looking edible.
Okay.
Alright, Lyra, take it away.
He seemed very fond of her, said that they were in love, that after his parents died, that she felt that all or something like that. And he said that they married, but on the wedding day they were betrayed by their own people, by his people. They stormed the castle, took her, and used her soul to curse him.
Yes. I believe he said that their initial intent was to kill him using her soul, but her soul wasn't powerful enough, so curse him instead and bind him here.
More so than that, apparently. Strahd told me last night that curse extends to beyond. The curse of Barovia itself.
Yes. Not just him, but everybody within this area.
And I'm still thinking about what I saw at the crossing.
I see.
I mean, why would I have why me?
That's
Well,
a good question.
How?
Why does anything happen to any of us?
I don't think this is one of those cases, as for that. Yeah, I mean, Strahd ran out of the room at dinner time crying bloody tears because he said that she tasted like his former lover. And that is something more than just an occasional happening to someone.
Well, it's certainly not something you seek out or ever expect.
No, but it calls into question Illyria's heritage.
Indeed. As I don't believe that anybody in the Protectorate who would have known prior about Illyria's heritage and the connection she had with Strahd would ever send her here to begin with.
Are you sure about that? Was it not happenstance? Or were you assigned by someone?
We were assigned, but given how the Protectorate can be, either they didn't know or it was intentional. I was just given my assignment, and that was that.
Quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if they just wanted to get rid of me for a while. She just sort of like mumbles to herself.
Well then, if that were the case, they certainly have made a surprise mistake. Or it could be a silver lining. Depends on how you wish to look at it, or use your position now.
Yeah, it's... I really want to get out of here.
Though true, you're quite stuck, literally.
We're not going to get out of here unless we actually fight our way out, I think.
Well, I guess we have to wait for our gracious host. Well, aren't you something like my tour guide, bodyguard, Nix?
I was just trying to convince the other Bestani that I was not a screw up by bringing you here. Everything else is off the table. But Strahd seems to think that I should be. To be
Well-
some sort of escort to you, Illyria, like you are some prized jewel.
I think I'm far from that, but
Not
he
to
did
him.
say I was allowed to roam Barovia.
Right. He did.
I'm sorry you're stuck with me.
I wouldn't say you should be sorry. I'm ingratiated by being in your presence, Illyria. And you, Asada. To always have crackers nearby, of course. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. But right now we have this predator roaming the
In
lands.
whose castle we currently are.
Yes, indeed. That is a hard fact to swallow. Is there anything else that happened while you were there with Strahd alone? Anything else happened?
Not really. We spoke a lot. He suggested that should I remember anything more, to divulge everything to him, where I came from, what... Oh! He was very curious about the moments before Eva left.
Eva left?
Oh, yes, I mean, passed on, left.
Oh.
However it happened.
Yeah.
However it happened, you were there when it happened.
Was I?
You were.
Yes. You were so distraught. You stood in that river to get the pieces of her off of you.
I thought you were gonna drown yourself for a second. How can you?
That doesn't sound like me.
Asphoda is going to take a step towards Nyx, and then another, and then another. Her eyes just sharpen.
I'm so happy right now.
Look, I was looking for a way to make this happen too.
I found it. She's gonna take a hard look at him.
I think we made sure last night, Asfada, that foreplay wasn't your talent.
Stop it, Nyx. You may have compromised everything. What did Strahd do to you that you're not telling us? Because your reaction does not line up to yesterday, and now you're saying that you don't remember how Madame Eva died. That it's not like you all of a sudden. What happened, Nyx?
Nyx will think real hard.
Well, I mean, technically, he did not remove the actual casting of the spell.
No, I know, he didn't.
It was, a reward to you. So he didn't mask it. So
True.
you are aware what he did, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Take some puzzling out, but yeah, he didn't mask it.
He will have her a thing and furrow her brow and rub his chin in front of the freaking Goliath-sized dragonborn.
Or hero.
He offered a gift. I recall now.
And what was that gift?
He asked me what I wanted.
What did you say?
I asked him to take the pen away.
And how did he do it?
Well, he asked me to look into his eyes. His deep, soulful eyes without soul. And then everything felt a little bit better for a change. I didn't feel sorrowful, and it's hard to figure out why I was feeling sad in the first place. I mean,
Can Asphoda piece together that his memory got a bit, altered?
How much do you have in a cult?
A cult. Let's see here. Cult. I got base.
Okay. You can certainly try.
Yes, I will. And quick question: does an inspiration reroll or add a one?
Inspiration for me is that you basically get advantage, and
I would like to use this inspiration.
but you get to decide with inspiration, after you rolled first. But before I say yes or no, so.
Gotcha. All right. possibility. If this is just booty, then advantage it is.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
occult.
Oof.
This is just booty. It's just booty.
7 and 8. Damn.
Yes, yeah.
Well, you know, there are a lot of spells out there and they can do a lot of things. It sounds pretty powerful, but you know. And then, you know, people can have fantastic abilities that are soul mastery, they can be even more varied. So, I mean, something happened.
Yeah, well, I'll count that as I use my inspiration because I see the 8. It's painful.
Yeah.
Oh, lordy. Yeah, she's got not a clue, not a hint, other than this is an incredible charm he has casted.
I mean, Illyria is like,
Mega charm.
she's like very
wouldn't-
like wary of Nyx now. She's like, so he messed around with your mind again.
This time as a gift that you asked for.
I
If
didn't know what he was going to do.
I can feel the tension.
you know, this I've never heard of a charm so powerful that it could just remove something out of you and as a means to influence how you act. That makes me wonder if something, if you had to remove those things, would he get to know those things? And if he did, could he know of other things while removing such things to influence you?
I don't know if that's going to be the case because he was asking a lot of questions and somehow I managed to not divulge everything. I mean, he's a friend, he's not my lover yet. But I mean,
Are you sure you aren't charmed anymore?
I mean, what am I saying? Of course not. God damn it. He's not my lover. He's not a friend. He is the worst guy. He's playing with my mind. But he did make me feel a little bit better. So, that's monstrous.
Can I make an insight check on Nyx to see if he still has that rage in him towards Strahd?
Sure.
Right, empathy. 16.
16. Okay. Are you an open book right now, Nyx, or do you want to roll perception or deception? No, persuasion or deception.
Perception.
He's a
I
bit like
look back
he's a bit like a bowl of noodles.
So you don't have
Is-
to roll. You can decide that this is enough if you want to. But if you want to like actively try to resist, you can choose to either roll persuasion or deception.
Resist it. You know you want to.
Well, it's kind of a bit of both because right now it's like the morning after, and you know, morning afters aren't always that clear, especially after certain circumstances. Plus, his memory's been like played around with. Plus, he was charmed, and before that, he was freaking pissed off and distraught. So
Yeah.
it's like a mess. It's a
Right.
fruit salad of emotions. So it's
Right.
kind of like stick your hand in the bowl and see what you get.
Right.
There's anger in there, there's curiosity, there's confusion, there's grief, there is enchantment, there is drunkenness, there is a lot of it stuff going on inside Nyx that maybe due to his ability to maintain control, like his natural passive presence, he's like he like on the surface he's holding it all together, but inside it's like a freaking mess of a man.
But your presence modifier is +3, +4.
My what? Just the raw?
Yeah, raw presence.
Yeah, +4.
All right. Yeah, then 16 would still be higher than the passive presence, if you would say that.
Sure, that's why there's all this mess
Yeah.
in terms of inside. So, in terms of what were you trying to ascertain, Asphoda?
To see if he still has that anger.
There is anger. There is anger in there, but there's also a bunch of other stuff as well that's kind of blending it all together like a emotional smoothie.
Emotions.
Delicious. It's got electrolytes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's there and with the same intensity, or is it getting muddled?
I mean, there's only there's a ceiling of emotion. It's not like an infinite explosion of emotions. Like, add more to the pile.
She takes a deep breath. Just takes a deep breath. Stands straight up. And slowly exhales. You kind of feel a little chill as her breath kind of like falls down on you.
Heck yeah.
And says, "You, Nyx, are a whirlwind of horrible events, emotions, and choices. Though partially not your fault, for some, but unfortunately they did happen. And I suppose we simply have to find a way out of here, fast, because I don't know what sort of charm he's done to you, but whatever Madame Eva has wanted us to do as her final moments, he might know and might as well interfere with them."
I agree. We have to get out. The fact that we are so close to a creature that can warp your mind to make you feel like someone is your friend, or something happened or it didn't happen. This is beyond frightening.
Yes, first matter of business, we need to find a way out. Out with all of us from this place. Not like an escort out of Rovia, just out of this castle, and hopefully he loses our trail for a while.
The organ opens with that.
It's the halfling. Shh.
Asper just looks at this man like, are you fucking kidding me?
You hear footsteps fall, and then Helga appears behind the corner, looking exactly like how you left her, Nyx. Would the guests want some breakfast before departure?
Yes, that would be
Of course. Yes, departure.
Sure.
We have heard your wishes, and some of you masters have jobs to do for the Lord. Important things that must happen soon.
That you most certainly are right.
Follow me. There's some bread.
Asphodel will follow first.
she returns you to the dinner room. This time, the um, china and the silverware is not as fancy as it was yesterday. I brought up like more like the breakfast set, if that makes sense. There's some bread, there's some cold smoked meats, some cheese, water, morning ale, things like that.
Any soup?
I know where you're going with that.
Oh.
Any
Oh.
vegetables? Any?
Not on the table currently.
To spare. To spare over crackers. He was trying to force a cup on the end of his stick. Well, it was a ladle, but now it's a stick.
Uh-huh.
And that didn't work because you can't just take a knife and go, and it's not going to connect. So he's kind of in a situation that he's now disarmed apart from his bow.
Aww.
Nyx will look at Crocus as we walk past the organ area, as he's like woefully looking at the metal shaft of his long lost friend.
Crocus is more actually bashing this shaft with some other object, like an apple, let's say. So, that doesn't look right.
Crocus, are you okay?
Crocus is just lost in like the jamming. Is just like, just stares at you, just kind of looking at your head like those horns. Nah.
Okay.
He needs to remake his fine weapon.
We'll get you another ladle. I'm sure there's one around.
And Crocus musters to himself, that's less suspicious than normal.
I guess you guys eat breakfast pretty quickly.
Yeah, like pocket bread, pocket bacon,
Illyria eats very little.
pocket
like
fruit
only,
salad.
only the polite amount. Take the rest in the pockets. Yeah, I getcha.
Yeah, Asper will eat till she's like not too full, that she kind of you know that fullness where you eat too much and you can't move around very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she eats enough, like a lot, but not to that point.
Okay. I have a question for Asphodel.
Yes.
You're like 2 meters 50, right?
At 2.9 meters.
You're almost 3 meters.
Yeah.
How much food is just enough?
Yeah.
It's like
You're like a freaking blue whale. It's like
it's several crocus pounds of food. Like multiply a few crocuses by weight, and she eats that much in weight.
you eat like 3 hoplings.
9.5 foot.
I think like a human requires at least 1.5 kilos of food per day. So if you do that times like a third extra, times 130%.
But also muscle. You know those
Yeah,
really
gotta
beefy
bulk
people?
up.
Yeah, bulk up muscle. You know how much calories they eat? They're ridiculous amounts. I am so jealous that they get to eat that much. I'm so jealous. Don't understand.
You guys eat, and then when you look ready, Helga says once more, the Lord wishes to apologize because he won't be able to here to push you off on your journey. He's having important business, you see. But he says to Crocus and Asphodel that he hopes that you both have a pleasant and safe journey back to the Protectorate, and that Crocus and Nyx, I'm sorry, masters. Nyx and Lady Lyria, you may stay in the castle for as long as you want to, or you may depart with the coach and travel to any place in Barovia. But Stay away from the dangerous areas.
Of course. Thank you.
Yes, it's much appreciated. Well, that said, would you like to see us off at the edge? Illyria, Nyx.
We're coming with you.
I think we can see you off. We will be here for a while.
Wait, what?
I mean, like in Barovia.
Right. Wait, I'm confused. Are you leaving Barovia?
Can Crocus hit the very, very silly
I think for now we're pretending that they do.
Yes, that is correct.
Oh.
We stay together, guys. I see you guys.
Right, of course. Sorry, my brain is a little fuzzy.
That tends to happen when you are so close to the Lord. Isn't it remarkable?
You need to calm down, Helga. I mean, them.
Okay. She takes you through the castle, out that familiar path now to Nyx. There, past the gargoyles, past the dragon hallway, out in the courtyard, and there, the black coach is already waiting. Without a driver, for two beautiful black horses and that luxurious coach. It will take you back to the crossroads, and then you can pick up your old mode of transportation. I've heard it should be safe. We have guarded it.
Right.
Of course. Thank you.
Lady Lyria, you're welcome back anytime, and you will receive a queen's welcome.
Of course, I would just like to see a bit more of the land.
Just don't disappoint him.
She sort of like raises an eyebrow at that. Now, why would I ever do that?
I know, right?
Nyx has like a WTF face towards Helga.
All right, do you hop on in?
Yes.
Let's get the hell out of Dodge.
As soon as Illyria gets in the coach, you see almost like this facade drop, and she just like lets out like a deep breath.
Okay.
And she's like, okay, this might be a bad idea because we're in this magical creepy carriage, but I can't do this shit anymore.
Right.
The moment Aspida takes the seat and everybody's in, the carriage is closed, she just takes out her halberd with a whetstone, goes.
Anxiety grinding.
I mean, I guess Illyria tries to look like she's just, you know, she can relax now. She doesn't have to be that formal. Like, she doesn't want to be that obvious that, like, you know, it's like, you killed my friend, and I was like, now you want to keep me here, and like, even though if she is confused, but like obviously like she was by Irina's side as she died, and I feel like that would still be quite you know.
Yeah. Right. You guys hop on in. The coach doors close on their own, and the horses starts to trot on their own. towards that drawbridge that creaks and complains as the weight is put on it, but it holds. You know, it still gives you an unsettling feeling in your stomach, like.
Crocus is gonna glance over Asphodel, you know. Kind of like, this is your fault. That's why you're squeaking. You've eaten too much.
She just kind of like, what's it? Raises a brow. My fault. I don't know what you're talking about, Crocus.
Oh no, he doesn't say anything. He just looks at Asperger and sort of tuts, like disapprovingly.
The passive aggressive, like.
She just looks at him dead in the eye and just grinds the blade slower but harder. And making sure the reflection kind of turns so he can see himself in the blade.
And then Crocus just spots his lack of ladle and is like, oh.
That's right. Ladle.
The ladle is gone. There's no more ladle.
Oh, ladle is.
The burn.
You travel away from the castle. Slowly but surely it leaves your view, and the view of the castle gets swapped out by rows of half-alive trees in that murky red and green and brown canvas that quickly passes you by as the horses trot away in a healthy and I would say ambitious pace. These horses seems to be pretty strong. You're almost like wondering, like with everything else here, is there normal horses really? And about like 30 minutes after leaving the castle behind you, how you're sitting in the couch, by the way, is Nyx and Illyria on one side and Asphodel and Crocus on the other?
I mean,
Makes sense.
Probably it makes sense. I feel like the two of them sort of cancel each other out.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I feel like, based on her size, like, As would take up an entire pew, but, like, Crocus is either smushed into a corner or, like, basically on her knee.
Sitting on her lap like a little kid.
Oh dear.
But yeah, about half an hour after leaving the castle behind, there's a knock coming from underneath your butts, Nyx and Illyria. And there's like a shoving motion. There is something underneath your seat.
Mr. Halfling.
Illyria sort of like as best she can in this carriage, like sort of like jumps up with like one hand on her rapier.
It's very cramped in here. You need to lean forward a lot, but both of you are able to stand up, and a purple hand grasps the seat box. Basically, it's cushion seats over like something that can work as a box, and lifts up the lid. And a horned female face looks at all of you. Nyx, you need to tell me everything what you experienced in there. Everything, I tell you! And
how did you get in there?
And you realize, Nyx, that this is your cousin Esmeralda.
Can Crocus immediately try to pop this woman back into the seat? Because she's not meant to be here. It's completely out of place.
We shall see how that happens, or goes next time.
Yes, see?